I just feel like I can fall. My mouth serves no chalk enough, and my hair is way too long. And what about my voice? What about my voice? Do you think I sound? Do I cry as you do? Do I kiss as you do? Do I love as you do? Sorry babe, what's the difference? I can move as you do. And if you let me do, I'll make this show for you. Watch me baby, baby. Do I cry as you do? Do I kiss as you do? Do I love as you do? Sorry babe, what's the difference? I can move as you do. And if you let me do, I'll make this show for you. What about my own ability?
Wagwan people thems. So this is my YouTube list. So you guys always send me through reaction requests and stuff. And I've actually genuinely got, it's called my recommendation list. It's what I started from like 2 years ago. And I've just been adding to it. Like, in all honesty and in all fairness, there's probably some things on there that are really, really ancient. really ancient. I've just never got around to, because, you know, priorities are always changing. Do you know what I mean? So there will be some things on there that I'm probably going to be like, oh my god, that's been on there for like how long? But what I'm trying to do is do it, I guess, a little bit like back to front. So some of the most recent ones, as I think they're probably that people will also be looking for those things as well. So one of the most recent ones I've added to the list is for Lucky. Is it Lucky Luke? Lucky Luke? I got his name wrong. Lucky Love, and I think he, from what the comment was saying, I think they'd responded to my reaction to him doing Masculinity. I think it was called. Was it Masculinity? Was that the one? I'm sure it was Masculinity, and it was a really, really cool song. It's one that my patron Diane actually recommended to me, and the whole vibe of it was just really cool. I remember like coming back from that being like, the vibe of it, like how he sung was really cool. And I remember Diane saying that he had like a look of Freddie Mercury about him, and this was obviously before I'd seen Queen and really kind of taken any time to react to any Queen. And now looking back, I can kind of see now what she meant by that look. And he had his arm amputated, so he was representing for people that had disabilities and stuff, and I thought that's really cool that he's able to kind of you know, champion and advocate for people. Excuse me. So I'm actually not surprised then that they had Lucky Love perform at the Paralympics. I presume it was the Paralympics anyway, and when that started, because I think this video is from 11 days ago, and I'm sure that's when. Sorry, I've got something in my eye. Yeah, I'm sure that's when the Paralympics started. I've seen some of them, because I'm not the biggest sports person. Like, it's mad, because when I was at school, there were definitely sports that I used to obviously play. Like, I was more like a badminton, tennis, you know, the athletics. We also had we had a thing at our school called fives. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of fives. You had this thing like at the back of our squash courts where you had this, it's like against a wall, and you play with like it looks like a squash ball, I guess, and it's got like a concrete wall, and you've got this thing sticking out called the buttress. And yeah, you play with your hands. It's kind of like squash with your hands with this, like, but you have to warm up the ball to get it to. Anyway, so there were definitely sports that we that we played, but the older I've gotten, I'm just more into like music and that kind of stuff. So I don't really watch sports, but of the bits and pieces that I have caught at the Paralympics, obviously my hat goes out to any Olympian. Like, I feel like anyone that dedicates that much time, dedication and commitment to using their body to the best of its ability, my hat goes off to them. So for someone that is a Paralympian that's got even more of a hurdle to get over, I just think it is beyond incredible, like beyond incredible. So yeah, I'm really excited to kind of see Lucky Love and see what his performance is. I think it's called My Ability. I think the song's called. Oh, by the way, if you do want to cut one of my really cool hoodies, this is actually probably one of my favourite bits of merch that we've had made. And so it's got the all white there, and the back. I on the back there, you've got listen. I do say listen a lot. So yeah, check the link in my bio if you want to grab one of these. And they're really good quality as well. It's also really, really handy. Right, okay. So, Lucky Love, let's see what you got for me.
It's been in my head for so long, after they told me this words you can remember. It keeps going on and on. They keep beating on and on my face. See, they keep telling I'm a liar. Babe, it's not my fault, I build these layers. I can't meet myself.
Wow.
What about my own ability? What the hell is wrong with my body? Am I not enough? Who gives you the right to run the walls? Who gives you the right to run the walls? What's wrong with you?
Wow.
Tell me, baby, baby, do I cry as you do? Do I kiss as you do? Do I love as you do? Sorry, babe, what's the difference? I can move as you do. And if you let me do, I'll make this show for you. Watch me, baby, baby, do I cry as you do? Do I kiss as you do? Do I love as you do? Sorry, babe, what's the difference? I can move as you do. And if you let me do, I'll make this show for you. Watch me, baby, baby. My flesh to gel my soul. I just feel like I can fall. My mouth serves no chalk and no. And my hair is way too long. And what about my voice? What about my voice? Do you think I sound? Do I cry as you do? Do I kiss as you do? Do I love as you do? Sorry, babe, what's the difference? I can move as you do. And if you let me do, I'll make this show for you. Watch me, baby, baby, do I cry as you do? Do I kiss as you do? Do I love as you do? Sorry, babe, what's the difference? I can move as you do. And if you let me do, I'll make this show for you. Watch me, baby. What about my own ability? What the hell is wrong with my body? Am I not enough? Or even too much? It will be short-sighted trying. Is it coming to your mind that I do care? To be a man.
Wow. Wow. Sorry. That was absolutely amazing. I've actually got chills. I got chills. They're multiplying. That, like, and it's so weird because I think there's actually two songs of Lucky Loves that I've done. Masculinity. That song, unless unless he's changed the lyrics on this song maybe, but I definitely would you love like I do like that melody. I definitely remember and recall reacting to that, and I'm trying to think if this was the video that he did where he was kind of like it started off with him kind of laying down in that chair and then it moves throughout. But I think I don't know if I'm confusing two videos or not. But either way, I've definitely heard that song before. Never heard him sing live, and as I said, I didn't really watch much of the Olympics, and I haven't really watched, as I say, much of the Paralympics. But I've watched bits and pieces of both. And Celine Dion's performance is the only performance that I've seen of the opening ceremony of the Olympics. So I don't really have much to compare it to in that regard. I think for me personally, if I was comparing those two performances as performances as an opener, this one, even though I absolutely loved, I mean, I really loved the Celine Dion performance. This performance to me was so well, it was just. I guess you can't really compare them because the two are completely different. But I was so incredibly moved by this. I think just watching Lucky Love kind of navigate that space. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out where it is that Lucky Love is performing, like what that column is. I thought it was the July column or the Verdun, the column Verdun, but I don't think it is because the top doesn't look the same. So I can't figure. And my geography is really awful, so apologies. I did try and look. I just can't figure out where it is. But just the whole layout of that was such a beautiful, just artistic and powerful performance. I think the song itself lends itself really well to, I guess, the message it's sending, because I had a sister who unfortunately is no longer with us. Love you, Fee. And I know how challenging her life was. She had a learning disability and she also eventually ended up in a wheelchair as well. And it's crazy how the world, how you've just got to think about the world slightly differently when you're not an able-bodied person. Do you know what I mean? And that having that thought process and listening to that song, it's like, again, that kind of melancholic, very rhythmic and very real conversation is happening there and then, and actually it's beautiful, like really beautiful. I love how Lucky Love, when he was kind of dancing with one of the dancers who also had her arm missing, he kind of opened up his jacket and their arms were kind of in sync and dancing around each other and stuff. And I think at one point they actually touched. And I just thought, again, that's really powerful because, I suppose we often see people, especially now, that have got, prosthetic legs or prosthetic arms. So to kind of have that almost nakedness, I don't know, it was just really powerful. And I think all of it, the dance, I'm seeing so many different types of disability that were able to be part of that, whether they were in wheelchairs, whether they had crutches, whether they had prosthetic legs, or they didn't. I just thought all of the people that were involved in that made that a real beautiful and powerful message. And having the choir at the back as well, there was some really lovely tones that were coming through in that choir. There was one female in particular, I don't know if she was doing the lead part, but there was one note that she did right at the end that went straight down to the bottom of my foot, man. I just felt those shivers. But Lucky Love's tone throughout was really cool, and he very much, I was watching that and I couldn't help but think about Freddie Mercury. I just saw it with the glasses and the trousers, and yeah, man, it was a really awesome performance. I really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed that. So I'd love to know what everyone else thought of this, and also were there any other performances from either or, actually, because I haven't really watched any other performances from the Olympics aside from Celine Dion's performance, which again was epic. Let me not take anything away. Although some people have said in the comments that I've read that Celine's audio was pitch corrected. I don't know whether that's actually been an official thing that's come out to say yes it was. I don't know whether they'd actually ever release anything like that, to be fair. But I did say to one of the people that had put the comments, I was like, to me, yeah, we love live music, but I think coming from where Celine Dion was coming from, I think just seeing her up there at all, I think was just a really monumental like image. Do you know what I mean? And at whatever point, those are her vocals. Do you know what I mean? So I yeah, I still stand by the applause that I gave her, 100%. But yeah, that performance, all of those dancers and whoever kind of choreographed that and planned that out, the execution of it was delivered because I felt it. I felt every movement, every swathe, every swell, and again having those lyrics and having that song at the back of it, I just thought it was great. Really, really awesome. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts were. If you know any more Lucky Love that I should be checking out as well, then please again do let me know. But for now, thank you so much for... Oh, if you did enjoy this, then please do drop me a like and subscribe. That'd be amazing. Thank you so much. And if you do want to support the channel and get more access to me and get more access to my videos as well, because there are so many over there that aren't on YouTube, then please do head over to my Patreon. Where you can jump on whatever level you want to and get more access to moi. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.